welcome back. The picture for this episode is definitely appropriate for this episode. I just made that list this afternoon, and that's what I want to talk about today. Keeping myself in check. Self-regulating and trying to avoid the feeling of being overwhelmed. The property that I recently purchased was taken care of for a very, very, very long time by someone who knew this area pretty well, from what I gather. As I've been tinkering around the place, working on projects, I've started to see things that make sense from a property owner standpoint, a local standpoint, that didn't make sense to me as a city girl. For example, some of the windows don't work properly. Some of them have been fixed and others not, and I couldn't figure out why. And as I needed ventilation today, I realized which ones didn't matter and which ones did. I have been working on a project to add insulation to the south-facing wall so that I don't burn up in the summer because it gets so hot. But I recently discovered that the ceiling in this place has been lowered, and I can only assume it's been lowered so that extra insulation could be added to protect from the summer heat. So maybe opening this wall doesn't even matter to add insulation to the wall. There are just things like that that have been kind of strategically placed. Different tools that I found on the property that initially I wasn't sure what they were for. And then later I'm thinking, oh, this is exactly it. This is amazing. So I need to give myself a little bit more time here before I continue to make changes, because I could be making the situation worse. I trust that the previous property owner did everything that he could to keep this place safe from any unsafe pests, as far as the stingy, bitey things. Also to keep it cool when the temperatures reach triple digits, and also to be resourceful. And I don't know all of those things, and he's not here to tell me. So I need to just slow down and pay attention. If I just slow down, I will inevitably start to get anxious that I'm not doing enough. I just will. So I decided to write down my projects. And as I was writing them down, I realized I have to prioritize these somehow. So I have a super important, kind of important, and has zero deadline to be done. 3 categories. And as I'm recording this, I am waiting for the fan to dry. It's outside. And then the second thing on my list will be crossed off. That will keep me sane and help me slow down, because I will visually be reminded of what I've done. So frequently I forget that I worked on a fence and covered holes and re-drilled something in the barn I'll forget all that and think, well, you've just been a lazy bitch all day. Like, you didn't do anything but hang out online. But that's not true. So, crossing things off the list should hopefully help me feel accomplished. And later, if I don't feel like doing something, I'll be able to look and say, oh, well, that's fine because I did so much stuff yesterday. I caught myself starting to get overwhelmed again and to get distracted by other projects that weren't on the list. I didn't take a picture of that part, but that is lower down on the fridge. Because yes, I'm just using the fridge as a whiteboard, which I don't know why I've never done that before. Like, just ridiculous. And I've added those other projects. So for example, when I started cleaning the fan, I used an air blower to blow out all the dust. It may sound weird that cleaning a fan is on my list, but I spent the summer in the Nevada and Arizona desert. Every day, the inside of my RV looked like an attic with a fine layer of dust. So I'm still finding dust. It's like when you go to the beach and you're still finding sand in your shoe weeks later. So I had a lot of dust on this fan. And so I was using the air blower, I think that's what it's called, to blow some of the dust off. And then I started air blowing the porch and realized this is not on my list. This is not a priority, and it's taking me away from something that is. So I just added it to the lower list of things that are not important at all, but are just would be nice to be done. And maybe if I get through my whole list this week early, I can do some of those just for fun, or not, and just leave them there forever. So I'm gonna try that approach. I need some structure in my life because I feel like I've just been kind of running rampant, so I hope that helps. And I just wanted to come on here and talk about it because I don't acknowledge my accomplishments, and that may sound like a really stupid accomplishment, like a really dumb one, but for where I'm at mentally these days, it's pretty goddamn big. Thanks for listening. Even if it's just my microphone, it's really nice to talk and get it out.